Hey everyone, I hope all of you are doing great. So welcome to the second part of Grafana API tutorial. Up until now we have learned about what is Grafana API, why we should be using Grafana APIs, what are the different types of Grafana APIs available, and we also learned how we can quickly install a throwaway Grafana environment on Docker Play. So all the steps are available here, and we also created Grafana environment here on Docker Play, and you can see our Grafana is running fine. And then what we did is we performed some basic authentication by connecting to Grafana using basic authentication approach and also using Grafana API token authentication approach. So both of these were working fine. Now in this tutorial we are going to learn about using some of the Grafana admin APIs, using which we will be able to see how to make use of Grafana efficiently in terms of monitoring or in terms of seeing some of the admin information which is available in Grafana. Okay, so let's go ahead, and first thing which I want to show you, when you install Grafana and if you go to server admin, you go to settings, you can see what is the current setting of Grafana. Okay, so you can see for everything, for example, you can see what is the app mode, what is the instance mode, if there is any alerting available. You can see some other statistics. You can see what is the authentication values are set. You can also see whether it is LDAP integrated and so on. Now, what if you want to use all of this information or some of this information using some API? Okay, so there is an API available which you can use to get all of the information which is being shown here. Okay, so the API for that one is called Grafana admin API, and it is /API/admin/settings. So let's run it and let's see what is the information which we get. So up until now we have created this program. This is to connect to Grafana using basic authentication, and this one was to connect to Grafana using API authentication, and this is the third program which we are going to create now. I have just made minor changes in this program. What I have done is I have created three variables. One is Grafana URL. So you can change this URL to your Grafana instance URL, and in the username password you can put the username and password which you have assigned to your Grafana instance. Okay, and in the base URL I've just made minor modifications. So it is taking these variables value and making or preparing a base URL of Grafana. Okay, and here we need to provide the API which we want to run. So in this case, as we know, we want to run /API/admin/settings. So let's just copy and we are going to paste it here, and let's run this and see whether we get the response. Now just make sure whenever you are using Grafana admin API, in that case you need to use basic authentication. You cannot use key based authentication, because all Grafana admin APIs, they work only with basic authentication. So let's run it, and if everything is fine we are going to get the response. As you can see, we have got the response, and let's just scroll up. Let's see the first line of the response, and we are going to do a little bit of comparison. So here you can see we have got default, and app mode is production, instance name is, this is the instance name. So let's go to Grafana, and here you can see we have different sections, like default section, which you can see here as well, default section, and then you can see value, key name and value for this section. Okay, and same thing we can see here as well. And similarly we have a section which is called alerting. You can see here we have a section which is called alerting, and you get this information. Okay, now let's say if you are not interested in all of this information, since it is a JSON data, you can very easily parse it and you can get only the information which you want. For example, let's say if you are interested only in SMTP setting, you can just filter it by providing the name, key name. In this case I'm just going to say data SMTP, going to run it again, and in this case you can see we have received only SMTP related data. So you can see whether this Grafana instance is integrated with SMTP or not, and what is the current value which is put under Grafana SMTP settings. And the same thing of course you can see from here as well. For example, I'm just going to write SMTP, and you can see whatever value which you were seeing in SMTP section from Grafana GUI, same thing you are able to get by running this API. Okay, so that is the purpose of using or seeing Grafana admin settings. Now it is going to be more useful when you want to monitor these kind of things. For example, let's say you have Grafana sessions and you want to make sure that all of these values remain the same. So what you can do is you can run this API, and whatever data comes, you can load this data to a data store, probably in InfluxDB or any other data store. And then using that data store, you can create some beautiful dashboards again in Grafana, and you can enable some sort of alerting. So if let's say someone accidentally changes any of these values, in that case you are going to get notified. Okay, so that is how you can make use of this API. Now let's move on, and we are going to run our next API, which is /API/admin/stats. And this is quite useful if you want to see statistics about your Grafana API instance. So let's go ahead and change this API. We don't need to make any other changes, just in the API name, and here also we just need to remove SMTP because the response which we get from this API is going to be different. Let's run it, and here you can see total number of active admins which are available in your Grafana instance. You can see total editors, active sessions, users, viewers, total number of admin users which are available in this Grafana instance. As you can see, currently we have only one admin user, so we can see only one admin, and you can see some of the other things as well. For example, you are clearly you can see that current Grafana instance is having 0 dashboards. So for example, if I want to if I create a dashboard and I run this again, this value is going to change to 1. So let's try this. I'm just going to go to create, going to go to dashboard. I'm going to quickly create a dashboard, and in this case let's just leave it as it is. Let's just change this title to demo title, and we are going to click on apply. Let's save it. I'm just going to click on save dashboard. Let's give it name of demo dashboard, and then we are going to save it. Okay, so we have created a dashboard in Grafana, and then let's run this API again, and this time it should be able to show us this value as 1 because now we have one dashboard. So let's run this again, and you can see now it is showing dashboard value is 1. Similarly, in our current environment we have 0 data sources. That's the reason it is showing 0 data sources, but if we create a data source and run this again, it is going to show us data source as 1. Okay, so these information are can be, these APIs can be run, and these values can be stored in a data store, and then you can enable some sort of monitoring. For example, let's say you have 3 critical data sources, and you don't want those data sources to be deleted, or you want to just enable some sort of monitoring to see how many data sources are currently running in Grafana. So those kind of things can be easily achieved by pulling this data and storing in data store. Okay. So this is all about our Grafana stats API. And what if you want to monitor total number of users who are active, you want to do some statistics on your Grafana instance. So in that case, there is an API which is called Grafana Usage Report API, and this is the API which we need to use. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm just going to paste this API here in our program, and then we are going to run it. And if everything is fine, we are going to get the output. As you can see here, now you can see this is giving you, quite a lot of useful information. For example, you can see total number of active admins, total number of active editors, and so on. Okay, so these kind of information is quite useful when you want to see what is the current load on Grafana, and then probably if you want to enable some alerting, you can do those things. So this is quite useful in a larger environment where Grafana is being used by hundreds of people, and you just want to see what is the load on Grafana, and then probably you want to enable some sort of alerting on these database or on these data or statistics. Okay, so again, this data can be stored in let's say in any data store like InfluxDB, and then you can create dashboards on that data store using Grafana GUI again. Okay, so in this session we have just learned these 3 APIs, but in our upcoming sessions we are going to learn a lot of new things like creating users in Grafana using APIs and so many other things. So stay tuned and see you again in the next video.